Well, g'day curd nerds. G'day curd nerds. Well, 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 g'day curd nerds. Welcome back. I'm Gavin Weber, and this is Ask the Cheeseman, episode 352. Big shout out to all of the YouTube members and patrons. We always do that first. So thank you to Mike Lackner, Scotty Orange, Grandpa Barbecuer, Game Cat, Shannon Vans, Lux Capacitor, and Erling Olsen. Thank you all for becoming members of the channel or signing up, re-signing or redoing, whatever the word is. And a big shout out to all of my patrons as well over on Patreon. Big shout out to Persnickety, who might not be watching because he works nights at the moment over in the US. There we go. Thanks for all of your support. Without it, the show wouldn't go on. But yeah, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Okay, so what's going on? So you would have seen the goat, sheep, and buffalo milk video. That video was really a trial to test out my green screen setup to see if I could get it to make an acceptable sort of video, which I have. So that worked all right. It really didn't get the views that I thought it might, but it is what it is. But it wasn't a cheese making tutorial, of course. Yeah, so that was a test run for the video that's going to premiere today. Now, those of you who have memberships have probably already seen it. So yeah, it's the St. Ivel, or Resurrecting St. Ivel, the extinct cheese, which is absolutely delightful, by the way. I've shared it now with not only Kim and Ben, of course, but two of my friends, Stacey and David, who have been on the channel before, and they absolutely loved it. So yeah, it's really good. Okay, what else? And then we've got yeah, so the St. Ivel will be a premiere. So the Titanic cheese will be a premiere that starts at 0900 my time, so straight after the stream is finished and I stop the stream. Those who are watching may get a little pop-up and it'll say, do you want to go and see the next video? So yeah, so join me over there. I'll be in the chat for the premiere of the St. Ivel cheese as well. Now, looking at the other stuff that we've got on, my goodness, there are so many videos. Where's my Trello board? Just to show you. Rightio. So we've got the St. Ivel cheese served on the Titanic. That is being released today, as I mentioned. The goat, sheep, buffalo. I'm diligently working on I made 4 cheeses using the Formaggio. Here is what I learned. That is coming along very nicely. The edit is a lot better than what I thought it was. I had like 8 hours of footage there. I made the 4 cheeses a week and a half ago. And I've had meetings with Formaggio and all sorts of stuff to make it the best possible review I could. So I'm putting a lot of effort into that. So that one's in creation at the moment. The Hanna Instruments is in the video shoot for the Halo 2 pH test meter, which I've used 3 times now, and it's just changing the game as far as I can tell. So yeah, I've got to remake the Mount Cottrell. That'll be the next making tutorial video. So I've already made it once. It didn't work as well as I had hoped. I have to rejig the recipe and try again. It was a problem with draining and using these very small pyramid molds. That was the big issue. It wasn't the recipe per se. It was draining the curds enough that I could then put them into into the little baskets without them shrinking too much and becoming too soft. And as Paul and I were chatting in the chat before, the How I Enhance My Veggie Patch for Retirement, that's a working title. That video is still on the go, so we'll go from there. And I'll get some time to get that done after these 2 brand deals, which are fun. So that's good. Back to my head. There we go. Lovely. Got lots of people in the chat, which is actually fantastic. 34 watching. We'll say g'day to a few who joined early. Patricia was the first person to join the chat today. Thank you, Patricia, as always. And Shauna was next. Always early birds. And Paul. G'day, Paul. Lovely to see you, mate, as always. I think the next was Fiona. Hello, Fiona. Thank you. Merv and All Out of Spoons. And Michelle, Eagle, Memmate, Jeff. Goodness me, lots of people. Who's next? Nicola. Zombicus. Lisa. Hello, how are you? And Davo. Davo says, thanks for another prompt shipment of supplies. Thank you, Davo. No problems at all. My pleasure, as always. Who else we got? We got Leaf Layer, who is Frederico, who sent some photos through. So thank you, Frederico. And Jose, Laz77. G'day, Laz. Cosera and Small Carnivore. I think that's the lot. If I've missed you, say g'day again, and I'll say g'day. Alrighty. Don't forget, we've also got the gallery at 30 minutes past the hour. There are a lot of photos today, so I'm expecting a lot of fun and games there, so that'll be good. Now, we do have a question, and it was from All Out of Spoons. Talking about something. Here we go. All Out of Spoons says, do you have a video on pH for cheese making? I think pH is the problem with my cheese, getting bitter, stinky issues as they age and get the calcium lactate layer. Thanks, Gavin. Yes, there is. There will be a video about pH and pH meters. I will be recommending a product. Yeah, it's a brand deal I'm doing with Hannah Instruments at the moment. I reached out to them asking them, I don't have a pH meter. I want to test yours. Can we come to some sort of arrangement? If you don't ask, you don't get, honestly. Yeah, they said yes, and I'm just banging out the last details yet. The lady I'm talking to, Marianne, is unwell at the moment, so we've kind of put it on hold. But I want to release the calibration video first before we start doing a full-blown video about pH and why it's important during cheese making and that. And I want to make a video before that called Phase 2 of the channel, saying that, we're going to take it to a new level. Although we still have all the beginners videos without any pH measurements, I'd like to start putting at least some pH markers or targets during the next few videos. And you will see one in the St. Ivel, which is very important. So that's going to be good fun. I'm looking forward to that. Next question is from, well, it's more of a statement. It's from Patricia. Says that I've just made, how do I say that? Beignet Tal Bazaar. Anyway, I got a mate called Andre who's Maltese that says, corrects me every time I say it. So I probably didn't get that right. But yeah, there is a lovely cheese, and well done, Patricia. I did say that I was going to show everybody the thing, the link. Where are we? Second monitor. Let's go and have a look at Tal Bazaar. Will it come up? There we go. A unique Maltese cheese. Yep, that's the one. So the link to that is here. And this is just for All Out of Spoons, or anybody else who wants to make this amazing looking cheese. So thank you for the reminder, Patricia. That's lovely as always. Next question is from... where the heck is it? There was another... There's lots. There we go. It's from Jeff. Jeff says, Gavin, making chaldate from your book, Keep Calm and Make Cheese, doesn't say anything about ripening after stirring in the cultures. Do I need to do this? No, Jeff, it's one of those unique cheeses that don't need ripening time per se. It's a very low acid cheese. So yeah, some cheeses you add the starter culture, give it a stir, then you add the rennet, and you're away to the races. It is a very low acid cheese because it has that washing step in the middle where you wash the curds to reduce the amount of lactose available for the lactic bacteria. That's why it's such a mild and very tight-knit paste as well. So there you go. All Out of Spoon says, is there a way to donate or support you, not via YouTube, that you get the entire amount? Yeah, it's one of the good question. All Out of Spoons, the Patreon page, I get all of the proceeds, except for payment. There's a payment fee, so the transaction fee gets taken out. Unlike YouTube, where they take, I get 70%, they get 30% of any donations, super chats, all that sort of stuff, memberships. Well, at least it's something is all I can say. But yeah, so you can do. There's no one-off donation. You can just do membership for a month and then cancel it, and the payment will be made. So that's probably the best way. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, I hope that answered your question. Frederico says, tonight I'm waiting for the Columbia to rise for Easter, but I already got some milk to try to make stracchino tomorrow. The Columbia to rise. I don't get the reference. Columbia. Is that a cheese that I don't know about? You're going to have to enlighten me there, Frederico. Colomba. Sorry, I said the word wrong. Colomba. Don't know. What is that cheese? It's like Pantioni. Oh, it's a cake. Right. Okay, now I understand. Not cheese, cake. All right. Laz says, I didn't get a notification for the milk video. For whatever reason, I'll have to give it a watch. Yeah, go and have a look at it, Laz. I think it's quite informative and gives you a little bit of inspiration on to try different cheeses that don't use cow's milk, because the vast majority of cheeses these days, or commercial ones, that's for sure, are all cow's milk cheeses. So I thought, well, why not? Because I've tried goat, sheep, and buffalo. Why not make a video about it? Some of the cheeses that I have made and some that I haven't. So it's always great fun to do something a little bit different. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate you dropping down 5 memberships to the channel. I really do. Can I pop that up there? Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Paul. Very generous of you, mate. What else we got there? Jose says g'day from England. Corsera says g'day from Norway. Norway, goodness me. It's a long way away from us. I've actually sent orders to curd nerds in Norway. In fact, just about every, well, I'm not going to say every country in the world, but a lot of them. So it's always good. That might have been me. Oh, nice. Alrighty, very cool. All right, we have a question from Small Carnivore. What's the easiest cheese you made and would recommend? Any surprising cheeses with unusual outcomes? Well, yes, there's always unusual outcomes. That's part of the learning process. What's the easiest cheese I've made? I would say paneer was so simple, it's criminal. Paneer is a South, what is it? South Asia. Yeah, so the Indian subcontinent. So ranges from Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, probably made in a few other countries around that region. Mostly made from cow's milk, sometimes from water buffalo milk. Paneer is simply milk boiled, and it's one of those rare cheeses that do get actually boiled, and then you add an acid to it, whether it be lemon juice or vinegar, any sort of vinegar, and it curdles. You then strain it, press it, and just under a plate or whatever weight you've got, and it turns into a solid block. You can sprinkle a little bit of salt on it if you want to preserve it for a little bit longer, but usually it's used straight away in things like curries and that sort of stuff, dals, all those sorts of Indian dishes, which is really nice. Okay, Paul says, hi Gavin, one of my students from my cheese class made cheese that did not knit very well. From the pictures, it looks like it was not kept warm enough. What else would cause that? So the main reason, Paul, as you may have experienced, is that it's the curds are too cool during pressing, too cold, especially if it's something like a cheddar. Cheddar is pressed at an extremely high pressure. We're talking 50 pounds of pressure plus. Harder you compress it, the better, and more closed the rind is. So, temperature of the curds, if they go cold, it's very hard for them to knit together. The warmer the better. That's why when you're in all of the probably the last 5 years, all of the cheddar style cheeses that I've made, I've always cheddared them in a colander over warm way. So when I'm doing the cheddaring process, the curds are staying warm, they're seeping out way. So when they go into the press for the first pressing, the curds are always warm. So in that first pressing, they have a fairly good tendency to knit together very well, and then subsequent amounts of pressure then absolutely close up the rind, so the cheddar's got a nice smooth rind, so you don't get any infections into the cheese. So so that's the main reason. The other reason could be that the curd chunks that are too large. So when you do cheddar, you can cut it into fingers, but it's probably best if you just kind of like shred the curds after cheddaring with your thumb and fingers and make it into smaller bits. Normally they have a peg mill where they wind a handle, put the curds in the top, and it shreds it and it all comes out the bottom. Or there's an automatic one. So hope that helps, mate. Nicholas says, I didn't know about YouTube. Better do the Patreon option. You can do Patreon. I don't mind, Nicola. The only thing is, and this is just a thing of YouTube, is that members get a little icon. They get, it's the same perk list as YouTube. But Patreon do give me a bigger percentage of the donation every month. And in fact, quite a few people, and they're actually watching right now, do both. It just astounds me. I'm humbled that they donate in both places. I think mainly people do memberships here so they can get their icon and stuff like that. So, very cool. Thank you so much. James, welcome to Fresh Membership. Thank you, James, for doing that. And you'll get your nice little icon and green name in the chat now, so very cool. There's another question from Lisa Zombicus Aficionala. Says, Where to start figuring out what happened to my raclette? The paste broke down and oozed out all over the ripening box, and the whole wheel was soft. Super huge bummer. Yeah, it is. It is difficult to diagnose these things. So, Lisa, what you may have to do, just send me an email. It'd be too hard to do it on the stream. Send me an email of the recipe you used. It was probably mine. And talk me through the steps you took, and we'll try and diagnose it from there. How's that sound? Special. All special. What's the next one? Paul, talking about the memberships, all out of spoons. Paul is very generous. Yes, he is. He's a very generous man. For those who don't know, we had a giveaway at Christmas time, or just after Christmas, and Paul actually donated all of the kits. So I put custom kits together. Me and Paul had a discussion, and he paid for those kits. I paid for the shipping and the promotion of the giveaway and all that sort of stuff. So we shipped 2 to the US and 2 to Australia. So yeah, it was very good. So yeah, Paul is a very generous man. Richard says halloumi is easily the easiest, tastiest cheese I've made. Yeah, it's. I wouldn't say it's the easiest cheese to make, because so many people, I don't know what they do or what milk they're using. So many people write me emails saying my cheese didn't float during the thinger. You know, when you put the curds, after you press them, you cut them into chunks, put them into the hot whey, and then they cook. So they, later on they don't melt when you fry them, and then they float to the top. So many people have issue. I don't know why. Maybe it's the type of milk they're using, but just use the best possible milk you can, and we don't have too many problems. Patricia says that the easiest cheese for me is whole milk ricotta. Yes, very simple. Heat it up to 92 degrees Celsius, hit it with some acid, and the curd splits, and you drain it, and you've got ricotta. Add a little bit of salt. Perfect. Thank you, Patricia, for that one. G'day Jay, says, just started watching your videos. The wax used to cover the cheese, does it allow any air from inside into the cheese or any gas to leave the cheese, any circulation essentially? No. So wax seals the cheese in, prevents it from getting mold. It also locks in any moisture. So when you air dry the cheese, you got to make sure it's touch dry before you wax it, so that the surface isn't wet of the cheese, because once you've sealed it, no air gets in and out. It's not a breathable medium. Very similar to a vacuum packing. So no, nothing goes in or out at all. I hope that answered your question, Joe. Frederico, or Leaf Layer, says, so what's the main difference between using yogurt, kefir, thermophilic, mesophilic as a starter instead of using packaged ones? Right, so the main difference is they're hit and miss, as far as I'm concerned. Kefir starter cultures have multiple lactic bacteria in them, and getting the dosage right is difficult. It's not as precise as using direct vat inoculated freeze-dried cultures, like I use and sell. Same goes with using yogurt as the thermophilic starter culture. Very difficult to determine whether the lactic bacteria in the yogurt, and especially if it's shop bought, you don't know if they have viable cultures that are alive, and that will multiply when you add them to milk. About quarter of a cup of yogurt, which is about 60 milliliters of yogurt, tends to be enough for about 6 to 8 litres of milk, or 2 gallons of milk. but I've had mixed results, especially for using yogurt, and I've seen mixed results from people who have used kefir grains as a starter culture as well. That's the main difference. Very hard to determine how much viable bacteria is available to convert into lactose. There you go. James says, hi Gavin, do you have any idea where to obtain raw sheep's milk in Australia? Yeah, good question. The sheep's milk that I got given for a few videos, Pecorino Romano was the main one that I made, and absolutely delicious. It was from a guy up in the Riverina area in New South Wales. It was something salt bush lambs. Oh, Arcadia salt bush lambs. Guy called Graham, if I remember rightly, said, Gav, do you want some sheep's milk? And I went, okay. So he froze it. His dad brought it down to me from up there. He was coming into Melbourne. I went into Melbourne and got it. And yeah, so that was just a gift. Now, where to get it, really, without your own flock of sheep, milking sheep, then you're going to find it very hard. A few Google searches may help, but you won't find it commercially available in stores, in bottles to buy. So you're going to have to go and source it from a dairy. There are a few sheep's milk dairies around, James. I know of a couple in New South Wales. I'm not sure in Victoria. I know there's goat's milk dairies, but not many sheep's milk ones. So very hard to get, mate. Paul says, Gavin Webber, cheese doctor. Thank you, Paul. CD. Oh, goodness me. James also goes on to say, just wanted to let you know, your video from Long Paddock inspired me to go do a cheese making course with them in 3 weeks' time. Excited. Yeah, they're great people. So, yeah, you'll really enjoy it. I don't know who's going to be teaching the course. But yeah, I know that I did meet most of the folk there, but I think most of the teaching's done on the weekend. But yeah, you'll learn heaps. They are very, very good, very professional, and I highly recommend their cheese making course if you want to go do one face to face. A little bit expensive, but yeah, definitely worth it if you want to up your game as a home cheese maker. Where are we? Fiona says sheep and goat will be drying up soon. You may have to wait until spring. It is, yeah, spring. So it's autumn here. I'm getting confused myself. But yeah, they will be drying up. Sheep and goat. They don't normally keep them in milk like they do cows in industrial cow factories, dairies. Dairies is the right word. But yeah, you are 100% right, Fiona. They may be drying the herds up soon, so it may be difficult to get them. Usually goat and sheep cheese production is seasonal, unlike commercial cow's milk cheeses. Jean says, watching from New Zealand. Welcome from New Zealand, the land of the white cloud. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Jay says, what causes bitterness in aged cheeses, and how would you prevent or reduce it in your experience? Well, in my humble experience, bitterness in aged cheeses is usually caused by not adding enough salt to the curds. Adding salt to the curds inhibits lactic bacteria growth during the aging period, because most of it should have been done, most of the lactose should have been eaten during and up to the air drying phase, after you've just taken it out of the mold and out of the basket and press. So any further lactic development after that, if there is not enough salt, causes bitterness. It causes bitter peptides as the proteins break down. The more they break down, and if they stay in long chain fatty acids, then they're going to give you a bitter taste later on. Also, too much rennet tends to cause bitterness in cheese, especially for the home cheese maker, where it's very hard to measure out very small amounts of rennet for cheeses. So there you go. Alrighty, so we have, it's now gallery time. Thank you, Jay, for that question. A good question too. It is time for the gallery, and the gallery is brought to you by you, the Curd Nerds. Let me just get this up here. So yeah, you, the Curd Nerds, who send in photos to me, and I'll show you where to send the photos, but we've got some great photos today, quite a few of them, so let's get on to it. The first one today is from Fiona, who's in the chat. Says, "Hello, Gavin. Thank you for all your hard work and help over the years. I really love listening to the live chat and love the Curd Nerd community feeling of the show." Thank you, Fiona. And yeah, it's the Curd Nerds that make the community. I'm just here as the facilitator, I suppose. Anyway, so Fiona goes on to say, "I've had a long break from cheese making due to work commitments, but now find I have the opportunity of time to get back into it, and I'm loving it. The only problem is I started a bit late in the day a couple of weeks ago and went out to the patio to get some extra weight for pressing. Barefoot in the dark, kicked my toe and broke it. Oh no. The things we do in the pursuit of cheese making. Keep calm and make more cheese, so I did. Attached are a couple of pics. One is of my setup, showing the ingenuity of my husband's problem solving of the narrow clip on the precision cooker. He cut a bracket out of a heavy cutting board and it sits perfectly at the back of the sink. That looks great. So I'm just trying to look. Right. So there's a board. This is the cutting board, the blue thing, or the teal thing there. And there must be a slot that it goes into. I can't really see that because I've only got like half the picture. So yeah, there's a bit of a slot that goes into it there. So that is ingenious. And it sits on the side of the sink. Absolutely perfect. So yeah, that's a good idea for Curd Nerds who can't clip on their precision cooker to their sink. So absolutely fantastic. The next photo is a collage, also from Fiona. It says, all right, so what have we got? We got Hispanico. That's probably before. That's after. We've got a doggo and Leyden, which is also known as Kamijnekaas, which is a cumin cheese from the Netherlands. We've got mustard and ale cheese down here. Very nice colour on it. We've got a Caffili and we've got a Montasio. Very nice indeed. I like the little label. Can I get in? Can we zoom in? There we go. Anderson's Curds and Kegs. Very nice indeed. I love that. That's so good. And thanks for the picture of the doggo. Very nice indeed. Lisa seems to like the doggo. Good on you. Alrighty. Sorry. And finally, there is a goat's cheese from Fiona called Herbert's Goat. I'm not sure why it's called that. Enlighten me in the chat. That'll be cool. It's a nice white cheese. That and that's when it's fully matured. A little bit of gas development there, but not too much to be concerned about. You probably used a gas-producing culture similar to Floridanica maybe. But let me know. Alrighty, so very good. Thank you so much. Fiona goes on to say, it says, the mustard and ale cheese is made from our home-brewed dark beer. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Fiona. That was that one down here. Nice high-quality photos too, by the way, so that's great. So there we go. So the ale is made from your own beer as well. How good is that? Almost self-sufficient. Alrighty, moving right along. So this is from Frederico and says, hi Gavin, I watched yesterday's live stream this morning, or at least it was this morning for me. I heard that you liked receiving photos of cheese. Don't I just? Yes, I do. So I'm sending you the photo of my first Scamorza. I started with mozzarella, so I didn't make the shape specifically for Scamorza, but gravity did the rest, left hanging for 1 week. In my opinion, it came out very good. Not perfectly obvious, not perfect, obviously, but it was my first experiment ever. Even if, since I don't have the right environment to age cheeses for now, I don't think I'll repeat the experiment, at least not before getting the right tools. If you see something from the photos that you think could be improved, let me know. I really like experimenting not only with cheeses but also with bread and other leaven products and in the kitchen. I made Scamorza starting from 5 litres of raw milk, luckily enough to have a legal distributor near my house, even if it's one of the very few left in Italy. Adding only Greek yogurt as a starter, and obviously ran it for a coagulation of the milk and salt in the brine, 10% in the whey for 6 hours. Even if, unfortunately, the outside was a bit ruined because evidently the pH wasn't correct. Okay, so we'll keep on going. So that's the first one, and then it's starting to hang on some cotton twine, which is perfect, and we're starting to get a bit of a neck going there. Goes on to say, I saw your advice on this and I'll try to experiment again in the future. I ate the other mozzarellas and they were delicious. It was the 3rd time I made mozzarella. They're not a simple cheese, and a lot of patience is needed to wait for the pH to go down enough. But it's a lot of fun to shape them. Indeed it is. Okay, so with part of the way I made ricotta, we'll show that photo as well. Anyway, so let's keep looking at this Scamorza. So as it ages, it gets bendy and starts to get a bit of a rind on it. Very nice. And it's starting to get a rind there. And there again. I don't know how big this is. I haven't got any comparison on the size of it. There it is there, ready to eat. Looks like it's only been aging for a couple of weeks. And there's the back of it. There's the neck. It's got a little bit of a rind there. Yeah, so that's inside the neck, and the paste looks pretty good as well. And there's the inside the body, so not as much rind. And there is there was a second email. Federico says photos 1 to 7 are actually right from the first day to today. So the front and back of but the inside I used for part of the neck. In reality, when I cut into the center of the skin, it was not as thick, so was better than I first assumed. Regards, Federico. Now, he also made some ricotta. There we go. There's some ricotta there. And he says, what the heck is it? With part of the whey, I also made ricotta, which I attached the photo. I love whey ricotta, so soft and creamy, even if I'm always a little disappointed by the yield. From 5 litres of milk, which became about 4.5 litres of whey, I got ricotta from the whey, only 250 grams. Yeah, it's a very low yield. It was amazing in flavour and creaminess, but yes, real little for the effort. I recently subscribed to your channel and think it would be fun to try to make other cheeses. I would love to try something like Emmentaler with all those holes one day, but any cheese I enjoy and allows me to make more whey ricotta is a win for me. Regards, Federico. Thank you, Federico. And Federico goes under the moniker here on YouTube as Leaf Layer. I think that's how you say it. L-I-E-F layer. Yeah, Leaf Layer. Very nice. Thank you, Federico, for those lovely photos. And yeah, the more whey you have, obviously, the more ricotta you get, which is why commercial dairies can make so much, because, yeah, they do have lots of whey. All right, the next one is from Jeffrey. And Jeffrey says, thank you, Jeffrey, for sending these through. Hi, Gavin. Just 3 photos. The first one is my new homemade press. Very nice, and a very ingenious way to make a press. I made that I found by putting weights on top. Didn't do my back justice, so back to the spring press. Oh, okay. All right. So putting the 10 kilos and the bricks and stuff wrapped in foil on top didn't help very much. So, yeah, okay. I hear you there, mate. Yeah, and lever presses are better too for, not having to put large amounts of weight on the end of the lever, or Dutch presses as they're known. But, yeah, these types of presses, if you've got a bad back, then it's difficult to put the weight up on top. But kudos for you for giving it a try anyway, mate. All right, Jeffrey has some other cheeses here he wants to share. He says, photo number 2 was a Colby that was made in the home press. Looks fairly tight knit there. Looks pretty good. Ready to eat 19th of June. I would love to see some photos of when you eat it, Jeff. That'd be cool. And last but not least is a Guido's Hard Italian cheese. Can you tell me why the holes are shiny but the cheese is fine? The taste is amazing. So happy with it and have a great weekend. Thank you, Jeff. The holes are shiny due to gas production. So I'm glad you opened it when you did, because it looked like it was proceeding on the way to late blowing. Eating it early is fine. So yeah, I don't know what you probably used MOT 92, which is okay. It's not a gas producing culture, so I think that's probably okay. But it is a good looking cheese. And when eaten young, which most you do usually anyway, eat it at about 3 weeks. Or even less, then yeah, it's a nice table cheese. So yeah, what's your temperatures when you're ripening it, Jeff? It looks like at some stage there, temperature control may have been an issue, because the warmer it is, the more lactic bacteria activity there is, more gas production if you're using a gas producing culture. Or if the milk is subject to late blowing because the cows were fed on silage, which is very difficult to determine if they're not your herd. So anyway, yeah, so the lower the temperature for these sorts of cheeses, probably the better off you are. Less gas development. But thank you, Jeff, for sending that in. The next one is from Lisa. And Lisa says, hi Gav, I hope you, Kim and family are well, doggos included. Yep, the doggos are just under here, under my desk. I recently made a Boucheron style goat's milk cheese that is so freaking delicious. I wanted to share it with you and everybody. I fell in love with Boucheron whilst working in a cheese shop years ago. This French cheese comes in the shape of a log and is mild and has a distinct flavour. Near the rind, the paste is delicately smooth and silky. Towards the centre, the paste is more dry and crumbly. Very nice. Boucheron loosely translates to log, hence the shape, and it is one of the first goat's milk cheeses to be imported to the United States from France. I could not find an exact recipe for this type of cheese, but I did find 3 recipes online that I felt were close matches. I picked up and chose components for each recipe, crossed my fingers, and tried my hand at creating this very delicious cheese. Oh, and I have to add that I found goat's milk that was not ultra-pasteurised. After looking for it for almost a year, I paid $11 US per gallon per 4 litres. That's not too bad, really. Here in Australia, for 4 litres of milk, I'm paying, goodness me, so for 1 litre, I'm paying $6 Australian, which is about, I don't know, let me find out. Alexa, convert $6 Australian into US dollars.
I'm not quite sure how to help.
Oh, she can't help me. She's brain dead today. Anyway, so if anybody's got a quick handy currency converter, $6 Australian for 1 litre of goat's milk is quite expensive here. Anyway, moving right along, and it's very difficult to find any that's not ultra pasteurised. And I do have there's a dairy, well, close. It's about 100 kilometres from here, which is 60 miles. It's I'm just trying to think. Yeah, it's not ultra pasteurised. I had to ring the dairy to figure out what their pasteurisation process was. They used the 72 degree version for 15 seconds, and it's okay for cheese making. Not perfect, but it's okay. Anyway, Lisa says my cheese is not log shaped, and the paste is not exact, but it's close. The flavour is there, the flavour is there though, and that's what makes me happy with the outcome. And she's given me a recipe to try. All right, nice. I can do that. So I will use. I won't read the whole recipe out. I will use the recipe to make a cheese later on. There we go. So they're nice cats. I like those. And there's the cheese there on a plate and opened up. So it's gooey on the outside. Very nice and a little bit runny, and has a chalky paste in the middle, which some French cheeses do. And as you've mentioned, this version, if it's a log, didn't have a log mold. So yeah, absolutely perfect. Lovely looking cheese. Thank you so much. So what's the next? Does it, Lisa? Let me know what you think. I think it's a great cheese, Lisa, and the recipe looks sound. So yeah, I would. Let me think. Add calcium chloride. 90 minutes. Add rennet. Yeah, I think that's a very nice looking cheese recipe. So I'll have to check it out. For 4 gallons of milk. No, how many gallons of milk? 1 gallon of milk, half a teaspoon of salt. Oh, into the curds. Oh, okay. So it's direct salt. All right, yeah, probably enough. Usually these cheeses, these softer cheeses, probably about 1.5% per weight of curds. So the salt may need to be a bit high for that one, Lisa. Okay. Moving right along. So this one is from Merv. Thank you, Merv, for sending this through. Says, hi, Gav. Helped a friend Sue make better cow's feta last Sunday, but by accident, forgot to use cheesecloth boiled them and forgot all about them in the pot. I had to make some Perspex followers. Oh, yeah, I can see those just there for the baskets. It's a good way to do it. That worked out great, but she tells me that after 3 days in the brine and trying, the flavour was great. Outside was a good texture. Just in the middle it was a bit creamy, but still good. Did we not use enough weight when pressing? Yeah, I think that may be the issue. So the outside will be firm because of the brine. But yeah, you need to add a little bit. So I use, what do I use? For these molds, this size mold, I use 2 kilograms. So I fill up a 2 litre milk carton, Merv, fill that with water, sanitize the outside, plonk it on top of the each basket. So each basket will have 2 kilograms on it, and that's the weight I use during the entire process. Normally I put a basket on top of a basket, but because you've got these Perspex followers that you've made, what may have happened, I'm not saying it is, but let me know if you think this may be it. The Perspex followers should be the size of the bottom dimension, not the top dimension, because as it presses, it'll shrink down, and if it gets stuck on the sides, you're not going to get full pressure onto the cheese. So that may have been the issue. But other than that, great looking cheese, and congratulations to Sue and yourself for making this lovely better cow's feta. It is a delicious little cheese, so there we go. Moving right along, we got one from finally Persnickety, and this is a tale for the ages. This one, Persnickety says, "G'day, Gav. Well, I attempted to make American cheese from some odds and ends I had during the early hours of April the 7th. I used a year-old Colby, which has gone sharp, and 4-month pepper jack. Both were crumbly and around 2 pounds each. This amounted to a lot of shredded cheese. I still had some sodium citrate when I ordered your cheese kit back in 2021. First time using it, might have added too much. Your video on the topic uses 15 grams for 1 pound or 450 grams. So I thought it might be able to scale up for 4 pounds. It does not. 60 grams. You can really taste the citric acid bite, and that's okay. Now I have American cheese high in vitamin C. I also used an emulsion blender to help smooth things out. There they are in a loaf tin. Standard bread pans were used as the moulds, and the leftover extra thick cheese sauce is going into a small container. Chilling was taking a very long time as cheese-filled bread pans retain a lot of heat. So pop them into the freezer until firm. Use a curd knife to pop them free. Okay, and put them in vacuum packing. And vacuum packing. They're still holding firm, but time will tell. Each brick is 2 pounds. 12 ounces or around 1.25 kilograms. All the best to Kim and the doggos, curd nerdly persnickety. Now, when he said, we're doing some troubleshooting on the fly here. So when he said that he used some sodium citrate from a kit that I had sold him, I thought, hang on a minute, I've never sold sodium citrate with any kits. The only thing that I have sent out with kits is citric acid, which is a different compound to sodium citrate. So I wrote back to Persnickety and says, thanks for the photos, I'll showcase them in the next gallery. Are you sure you use sodium citrate and not citric acid? 2 different compounds. Sodium citrate is salty, and citric acid, which comes in some of our kits, is sour. I've never sold sodium citrate in our store. Sodium citrate is an emulsifier, and citric acid is used as a food preservative, but sometimes a weak emulsifier. Just thought I'd let you know from your description below. Then Persnickety came back and said, hi Gav, that would absolutely explain it. Checked because I have the dumbs, and sure enough, it was citric acid. How funny. Well, that would explain a couple of things. Do feel free to edit what needs to be edited. This is simply part of the cheese making journey. Indeed it is, and it is a common mistake. Make sure you read the labels of the things you're going to add to your cheese. Citric acid is not sodium citrate. 2 different compounds. Sodium citrate is an emulsifier that emulsifies your cheese and keeps the fat globules from splitting and turning into yellow fat that floats in the cheese when you melt it. So there you go. There's a learning experience. And thank you, Persnickety, for sending that through. I'm very happy that you did. So that is the gallery. Thank you, everybody, for sending through gallery photos today. I really appreciate it. We have... what am I looking for? I'm looking for YouTube. To send me photos, all you have to do is go to the channel page. Click on this bit here. Do you want to become a curd nerd? Love eating cheese. It says more. Just click there and you do get more. You get more because you get my email address. There it is, view email address. I won't click on it because I'll get spammed. That is where you send your photos for Ask the Cheeseman. Please shoot them through. I'm very happy to compile them and put them onto onto the gallery for the next show. Really appreciate it. Okay, that was a massive gallery. Thank you, everybody, for watching it, and thank you, everybody, for sending in the photos. We've got lots more comments and questions, I think, as well. Lots of people talking. I think might have got Federico's name. Oh, Federico, not Frederico. Oh, I'm such a clown. Federico. Sorry, mate. I didn't mean to put the R in there. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's Federico. F-E-D. Okay. All right. Goodness me. Fiona says, Nain if the street, the dairy it's on. Yes, it was Floridanica. Okay, cool. There you go. I'm in the know. Thank you, Fiona. All Out of Spoon says, can the amount of salt needed vary by the milk? Every wheel of aged cheese I've made has turned bitter and stinky with calcium crystals. Same for cow. 3 years of lactation and cheeses. That sound right. Sorry, ruled out. Sanitation, rennet. Confused and frustrated. Almost 100 wheels inedible. That's no good at all. Might want to send me an email on what you're doing there. I don't know what the heck's going on. A bit, like I said, bitter cheeses. are a sign that you're not adding enough salt. Weighing the curds before you press it, adding the salt to it, depending on the recipe, of course. Can it vary by the milk? Not so much. It's more weight of curds. Percentage of salt per curds is the best way. But yeah, I think that may be the issue, is salt, all out of spoons. But shoot me an email and we can discuss it further. Let me know it's you, all out of spoons, and what your name is. That will help me figure out whether I answer it or not. Okay. All right. Oh, Jamie says, hello, Cheeseman from East Yorkshire. Hello, Jamie. Is there another question? I'm looking. Because the only reason I'm looking is because there's 5 minutes to go before the premiere of the St. Ivel cheese starts. Yeah, pretty pricey for goat's milk. Yeah, indeed. Where else? Patricia says she pays $14 for 4 litres, which is roughly 1 gallon in Nova Scotia. I think that may be comparable to what Lisa paid. Yeah. Seems to be a lot cheaper, and that's in Canadian dollars, I would think. Patricia, seeing you're in Canada. Excuse me. Federico says, I cannot find goat milk here, only UHT, but raw cow's milk is really cheap, €1 per litre, cheaper than supermarket milk. It's good if you can get it, mate. It really is. Zombicus does a super chat. Thank you, Zombicus. Appreciate it. Says, thank you, Gavin, once again for all your advice. I appreciate you. Thank you. I feel appreciated. Honestly, I do. And thank you so much for the $10 US. I really appreciate it. Canadian dollars is about 3/4 of a US dollar. Same here. I think it's 75 US cents per Australian dollar. I think our dollars are on par, Patricia, for buying power, that is. I think, do we have that? Merv says, made them smaller to press down, Gav, but only used a wine bottle full of water after drinking wine contents, and that would have been 1 kilo. So yes, I'll use 2 kilos next time. Thank you, Gav. No problems at all. Thank you, Merv. There we go. We figured it out. So yeah. That Lisa, that Curd Nerd site sign is for you. Thank you so much for your super chat. Once again. Laz says, nice one, Zombie, because I can't make feta fast enough. My family devours it. Indeed, because Lisa said I made cow's milk feta Gav's recipe, which was amazing. Yeah, it is a nice cheese. It's not, like I said in the video, it's not traditional Greek feta. It's a version of it. So yeah, it's not to be confused. Anyway, that's it. That's all the time we've got for today. When I stop the stream in a minute, you may be prompted to go and have a look at the St. Ivel, the cheese that was served on the Titanic the day it struck the iceberg. I even play dress-ups. We've got a bit of cosplay going on, even though it's my own uniform that I wore in the Navy when I was serving for 20 years. So, a lot of green screen, but there is a full cheese making recipe in the video, plus taste test, plus tribute to the Titanic. So, no real time to do the plugging. But anyway, one thing I will plug today is merch. Don't forget, we got t-shirts, certified Curd Nerd, lovely mugs like this one. Talk Curdy to me, one of my favourites. I love that one. So if you're going to join me over in the premiere, please do so. Thank you so much for watching today, and thanks for all the wonderful questions. There's been some very interesting ones today. So thanks for watching, Curd Nerds. I'll see you same time next week.